that feeling that people have, which is real and imagined, of they're on their own. Well, on the one hand, you can see the kind of fantasy of humiliation and some kinds of struggles, behind the right-wing movements in this country that fantasize themselves as the victims of liberals and federal government and crime, etc. On the other hand, you already have situations like in Chicago today, this week, recently, where there's all the lead in the pipes,
right?
And there's not really money to be done with it. If you look at the lead crisis in NYCHA here in New York, they've discovered a shitload of lead. And, quite famously, back in the Clinton 90s, when they found all the lead in NYCHA, it was Andrew Cuomo, who was Bill Clinton's Secretary of Housing, that was like, we're not going to spend $55 billion getting the lead out of the public housing.
I presented this to my students at NYU, and it was a really like memorable moment because they all kind of understood, because I was like really like pounding the table. Like this is like genocidal shit. Because it was about how lead paint was, made illegal, except there were dudes that like had a whole bunch of warehouses full of lead paint, and they were like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? And the government was like, well, if we release regulations on housing projects, your lead paint can go there and the government will pay you for it. And these people will have, the people that live there, the children experience cognitive defects, and like this, I mean, it ruins them. Like it ruins these people for living there. So then what's crazy about that, Justin, is like thinking about the guy that's like the MAGA dude that's got like a full body armor on. He's ready to storm the Capitol because he says the government's killing him because the government's taxing my wife's cupcake business, bro. Like that's literally like what he sees as the government killing him. Where and that's what gets attention. Like the New York Times is going to profile this guy. This man's wife's cupcake business had its taxes raised 3 times over the course of 2 years. He's sick of seeing woke politics in movies and he's sick of seeing like black people in Iron Man and shit like that. And yet at the same time, the fucking government is fucking putting lead paint in housing projects and just like silently killing all these kids, and they're all kids of color almost entirely. And it's just kind of like, why aren't they fucking armed up saying the government's killing them and fucking storming the Capitol and shit? It makes you think that like these white dudes that are into this MAGA shit are just some of the fucking biggest babies on earth. Jesus Christ.